Hey, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. It is a Monday morning. I'm a little late for the morning boat, but we're going to. Lisa is at the gym. See what happens when I'm late? I'm sorry. Tracy, not Tuggy, good to see you. Yarn Prepper, good to see you. Henny, I've missed you. Nacho's mom, good to see you. Rachel, Queen of Awkwardness, glad you're here. Jen, always a pleasure. Nancy, Florence, I don't know that I've ever said hi to you, Florence. Hello. Goosebumps, Bayou Babe, Bakes with Butter, Balake, Shag Nasty, good to see you. Uh-oh, you guys are moving fast now. Jilly, Rachel, Debbie, Faye, Alexi, I have missed you guys. I really have. And I am sorry that I have been out of the pocket. Kenya, always good to see you. Snake, glad you're here. Emma. So here's the deal. I had this. This is not new. If you just got to the boat, I have been struggling with this for a long time. Hey, Basketball Jones, good to see you, man. Much love. Glad you're here. I've been struggling with this heart thing for a long time. It's been going on forever. I just didn't know it, and I blamed other things on it, right, for a long time because I didn't know what an anxiety attack was, right? So I assumed every time I was going into flutter that I was having an anxiety attack. This had gone on for a good chunk of my adult life. When I got an anxiety attack, I treated it myself, right? I used drugs to treat the anxiety attack. And the drugs that I used would slow my heart rate down, right? Normally enough, believe it or not, to get back into sinus. Now, I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I, for a very long time, used drugs to regulate a condition that I didn't know I had because I thought I had panic attacks. Now, I don't have panic attacks. I know this now. What I have, and they don't happen very often, is a flutter, right? An atrial flutter, which is just the easiest way to think about it is passing someone on a freeway. It's the best illustration that you can use. People get heart flutters, right? Almost everybody gets heart flutters where all of a sudden your heart starts racing for no reason and then it stops. Mine doesn't stop. When my heart starts racing for no reason, it doesn't kick back down unless I go and I have someone do it. Now, there are a bunch of tricks that you can do, and I've tried all of them. They don't seem to work very well. When I freaked out in the hospital the other day, it kicked me into sinus rhythm. That machine had me at 200 and change when I started going off. And by the time I left the building and got in the car, my pulse was in the 60s. My normal pulse is in the 50s. And if I'm sitting on the couch doing nothing for a long period of time, it can end up like 49. Like I have a very, very low resting pulse. Oddly enough, through this entire process, I didn't get high blood pressure. My blood pressure never went high. The highest my blood pressure showed up for the entire time was 138 over 89. That was my highest blood pressure. At that point, my pulse was over 220. That's hard to wrap your brain around. It doesn't make sense to me. I have atrial fibrillation is what I have. And it just does not kick back down. It gets into, when it leaves sinus, it's impossible to get it back into sinus without help. That has been my experience up to this point. I have avoided doing the next step for 5 months, I guess. Is that right? Right around there, 4 months, something like that was the first time that they made the suggestion, and they gave me options for fixing my heart. One was to go in and do this ablation thing where they're going to kill part of the heart muscle so that when the heart does its thing, it will do its thing better. It's a frightening concept to me, and I've told the story on the boat before. Right? It's we had my father's very close friend who actually did my father's procedure, killed someone doing it. The doctor did, and was just very open with my dad about it. My dad was very open with us about it, and it does happen. You know, when a doctor who does these kind of surgeries has a bad day, you know, like this guy said, if a plumber has a bad day, you end up with poop on the floor. if this guy has a bad day, the dude doesn't go home. So it is one of those things that's been in my head. It's so the other option was to put in a pacemaker defibrillator combination, like Renee just said that she was talking about. My dad had that. And my daughter has that as well, right? So I know a bunch of people that have that configuration of pacemaker defibrillator. The problem with that procedure is, in order to make that happen, in particular to me, I don't know if this is everybody, but this is how it was described to me by my cardiologist. They would need to crack my chest, right? So that's literally what that is, right? And then they spread it. Okay, try getting through that without pain medication. I said to the guy, how about a drug-induced coma, right? Like, keep me knocked out for 7 days afterwards so that my body can heal. He said, yeah, we can do that. But when you wake up after that 7 days, you're still going to have just had open heart surgery, right? So that's my pacemaker sends info to a doctor constantly. Yeah, my dad's used to do that as well. And I remember sitting with my dad once, and he said to me, I just got shocked. He said, they just shocked me back into sinus rhythm. That was something that they talked about, Kristen, and in my case, apparently not. I don't understand why. And I'll be really honest with you. I'm not good at trying to understand why. And Sean, I'm just telling you what the friggin' doctor told me, bro. And I knew, this is why I don't do medical, right? I've had this discussion before. I say I share everything in my life with you guys. I don't share my medical file. And the reason I don't is I sit down with a team of experts who talk to me. Then I talk to people who talk to a different team of experts when they were having their procedures done, right? And my situation and your situation, we can be diagnosed with the same thing and not be treated the same way for a host of reasons. I said the same thing. Why would you have to crack my chest? And the man said, your particular type of, again, I'm not doing this. This is, I have atrial fibrillation. I have options. One of them is to put in a pacemaker. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking pain meds ever again for the time I'm on this planet. That's it. Not doing it. So the ablation thing, I'm not going to need pain meds for. Be a little uncomfortable, but I could take some ibuprofen or whatever, right? But I'm not having my chest cracked. I watched my dad have stuff done. Not doing it, right? Watched it happen to my dad a couple of times. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting through without pain meds, and I'm not doing pain meds. There's a lot of people. Stephanie, I love you. I really do. But when you say I could deal with the pain meds, let me tell you a story. All right. I'm not stupid. I do dumb things, but I'm not stupid. In fact, I got a decent vocabulary. I mean, a decent IQ. It might frighten you. I'm not stupid. However, I've done dumb things my entire life. So dumb that you got to step back and go, how is that possible? How could you get off heroin, right? Manage to get off, get out of prison, and decide to do it again? Like, what could be going through your mind that day, right? How stupid is this? Well, here's what happens. I had a stroke. And I was in the hospital, and the right side of my body felt like someone was holding a blowtorch to it. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. One half of my body was on fire, and I was hurting. I was biting things, you know what I mean? Like gritting teeth and just sort of trying to get through it. And the nurse came in and said, this will knock the pain out. I said, what is it? She said, morphine. I said, I would rather not have you give me morphine. And she said, look, there's really nothing else we can give you for this pain. I said, well, then I'll just do it. And she said, she said, well, we can't let you do that. I'm like, oh, you can, because I'll punch you in the face if you try to put morphine in my freaking IV, right? I'm going to do this. And the curtain opens, and my probation officer was standing there. True story. Great man, for real. Good dude. But he was standing there, and I said, Chris, and he goes, hey, man, take the pain meds. My probation officer. I said, Chris, I will not be able to get off the pain meds. I know who I am. He said, look, I'm not going to fail you for piss tests. I will work with you. We will get you counselors. We will get you in to do everything necessary. I will hold your hand through this process. 8 years later, I was in prison, right? And everything that happened from that moment where they pushed that friggin' morphine into my arm until I went to prison, I had very little control over, if any, right? I've been doing this since I was a boy. The one thing I know is my ability to control or not control opiates at any level. So I'm going to leave this earth without taking another pain medication. I know there are people who are going to say, you know what? Trust me, you've come this. No. This elbow needs surgery. It's needed surgery since 2004. It's going to piss me off 3 or 4 times a year, and I'm going to eat pain meds that I buy at Walmart to get through it. That's really, it is what it is, right? If you very well may be able to do that. And I love you. I'm glad you can. I can't. And do you know the power in that? For real. Don't feel bad about that. You should be high-fiving because that is my anchor. You understand? My anchor is the knowledge that I can't control myself if I do this substance. Let me tell you what will happen. For real, you want to know what will happen? I will be doing this, but I will be coming on here asking all of you to send me a bunch of money. That's what would happen. Right? I would come up with a reason why all of you needed to give me $100 really quickly, because eventually you run out of everything that you can put in your arm. Right? You spend all of the money, then you got to come up with other money. And the way I come up with other money is I take it from people. That's what I've done in my life. So we're going to do the ablation thing. We're not going to do anything that's going to require pain medication. And I'm not happy about doing the ablation thing. If you really want to know the truth, I'm not. It's a procedure that scares me. And if at all possible, I would like very much to not do it. Right? Not do it. That would be excellent. However, I don't think that that's a possibility. And more importantly, now I've got, let's see, probably 150 to 250 mothers, right? I don't know how many sisters, right? And a bunch of brothers and dads that all would like to advise that I get this or get that done. And then you got Reese, who is Reese is an amazing friend, but Reese really wants to make sure that I get this procedure. Question: I had knee surgery. They needed to drill into the bone. I did not get any opiates. They put a catheter into my leg that numbed the nerves so that I couldn't feel the pain. Possible for your elbow? Maybe. So, and you had no pain meds coming out of it. How phenomenal! That's good stuff. I would talk about that. And I'm not trying to sound tough, but my pain threshold's pretty good. Like I am Johnny Scoville's little brother. You know what I mean? Like we have a unique relationship, I think, with the whole pain sensation that may be viewed differently than other people. But yeah, there's just some things like I really had exhausting conversations about the pacemaker. Like we spent, you talk for an hour with a person in the medical field. That's a really long consultation. But I sat there and fired questions at this dude for an hour. And what it really comes down to is I am terrified of pain meds, right? And that's this is a possibility, right? This is a possibility for certain things, but eventually you do kind of have to. It's like if I had open heart surgery. I mean, they can keep you in a diabetic. In a drug-induced coma, so that you can recoup through a lot of that. But eventually, you're still going to have to get up, and then you're going to have to start moving. And I mean, I was there through one of my dad's. I was incarcerated for the second one, but I was there for one of his open heart surgeries, and I was there for his process of healing and all that. And like I remember when he came out of it, that was the day I told the story on here before, but he came out of it and was just really hurting. And he said, he was asking for a nurse, and I got one in, and the nurse came in and said, "This is pain meds. This is going to take care of this." And gave him a huge shot of morphine, and he looked at me and went, "I can understand why you got addicted to this." He said that feeling of making the pain stop. He's like, I completely understand how you can get addicted to this. Stephanie, that is maybe the best comment of the day, right? That literally may be the best comment of the day. This is an absolute fact, by the way. I'm not sure about the translation. In Germany, they're really careful with the usage of opiates. They find different procedures. Went home with ibuprofen only. Would that be an issue for you? I would be willing to go home with anything that was not a pain medication. I have been led to believe that that is not something I could get through. Right? That is absolutely just periodic. I mean, uncategorically, I can't do that. Right? That's what the doctor told me. And here's my panic. What if I did it? Right? What if I did the open heart and then I panicked? Right? I got to the point where I couldn't take the pain anymore. Right? Then I will have literally chosen. Yeah, I can't. People, my palms can start sweating thinking about this stuff. I'm going to go to ablation, but I really appreciate you guys. I do. But the thought of pain meds can throw me into a panic attack. Right? So doing them is just, it's not something that's ever going to happen again. It is what it is. Right? So do me a favor. I want you to keep in mind all of this. I take naltrexone. I take naltrexone every day. Low dose naltrexone is a part of my daily. The day I was going to try heroin, my God. You know what, dude? Dwayne gave you the greatest gift of all time. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend, bro, but he gave you the greatest gift of all time. It is a very, very difficult to. You know what, Queen of Awkwardness? Thank you. I find myself doing it a lot, and it's one of the reasons that there are entire swaths of my medical file I don't talk about. Right? There's huge parts of my medical file I don't talk about because I love you guys and I want to share a lot of my life with you. The reason that we are as close as we are is because I share a bunch of my life with you. I've been open and honest about things other people won't be, and it's why I think that we've built the relationship that we have. Right? We're very close here. I would say that it's probably a lot like going over to Reese's. It's a very, very Cheshire Cat. What a great name. It's probably like going over to Reese's channel because it's the same thing, right? Reese is very, very open, sometimes too open with what's going on in her life, right? Reese is for sure not shy about openness. Lenny, I'm glad that you're here. Good to see you. Christy Caldwell, how are you, Christy? You know what, people? If you've not watched the Needing a Meeting show, if you've not gone over there, if I could get a wrench to put up a link to Needing a Meeting. Boy, I watched a show over there the other day that was as good. So they're doing as good a work in this connection stuff as anyone. I promise you. It's and better in a lot of ways than anyone else. The size of the channel is allowing them to do some really, really great stuff, like the kind of stuff we did, really, really early on in the boat when there's one person hurting and the entire crew there can go, oh, let's talk about this, right? That's really a pretty wild thing. And I saw some beautiful stuff going on over there. You really need to go check it out. Tramadol. I have done Tramadol. In fact, I've done a decent amount of Tramadol. I wish, you know what? This is going to drive me nuts. Hold on. Oxycarbazepine. Look up Tramadol, Calhoun. See what the chemical name of Tramadol is. See if it's oxycarbazepine. On a lighter note, my dad had open heart surgery over a decade ago. The most surprising side effect was that he suddenly had an amazing sense of smell. Really? How bizarre. Right? That's superhero kind of stuff, right? You go in for a procedure and you come out with super smell, right? Bit by a radioactive spider, come out with the ability to, what did you use? Sling webs, He was a web slinger. I believe they called him a web slinger. Watching Reese explained how she can have love for more than one person. You know something? That was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. Yeah, oxcarbazepine is given for mood disorders recently. That's not what it was originally given for. It is wildly abused in prison. They call it brown bombers, but I'm pretty sure that the name brand for that is tramadol. It can be abused in higher doses. It is non-narcotic, but it is absolutely abusable. You can get wildly messed up on it. It is a very popular drug to do in prison. They take large seizures, correct. They take very large amounts of it. They call them brown bombers, and they go for 2 stamps apiece, the brown bombers. They're 2 stamps apiece, and everybody in prison takes them. Even people that don't abuse drugs take them. And the reason is they give them out like cotton candy, right? They literally give them out like cotton candy. They will write a prescription for oxcarbazepine for anything, right? So they'll do it for mood disorders. They'll do it for seizures. They'll do it for all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Tramadol is an actual narcotic. Thank you. Oh, known as Ultram. There you go. That's the name brand. Thank you. It is absolutely abusable. And I am not. Oh, tramadol, Ultram, opioid family. Thank you, Lenny. So yeah, it's abusable to be sure, but it's not something that works well with me. Yeah, they do give you a buzz. You wouldn't enjoy the buzz. Listen, if you're anybody listening to me, don't think, oh, cool, I got oxcarbazepine. You will not enjoy it. I promise you. But a great number of the drugs that people, this is a perfect example right here. I hated tramadol. Never helped my pain. It just made me feel tense. Well, oddly enough, that is the buzz. You take enough oxcarbazepine and you get paranoid. You get, nothing that you would describe as pleasant, but everybody in prison does it. They use them as painkillers. They will absolutely knock out a low grade headache, right? They will absolutely knock out a low grade toothache. Correct. This is what Lovett just said is an actual fact. It is not an opioid. However, it does attach to the mu receptor. So very much like kratom is not an opioid, but it attaches to the mu receptor. So it does the same thing, right? I cannot take pain medication of any kind because the second I do, I need to do it again. That's what it is. If I could explain that better, I would probably be very, very wealthy, right? I would be incredibly wealthy because nobody seems to be able to explain why that is. But over the course of the time that I was a junkie, I have driven myself into the woods and been dropped off, right? With absolutely no way to get back as a way to try to not do dope. Literally, like I was going to go kick. So they dropped me in the woods and I got my ass back to town and did dope. Like it is a synthetic opioid. Okay. Regardless of what it is, it's attaching to the mu receptors and they are abusing the piss out of it in prison. And it's not, any of these opiates or opioids or things that work on the receptors or whatever the hell you want to call them, there is a low grade of pain medication that doesn't seem to work very well on people that abused heroin, right? There are certain drugs that once you seem to have, no, THC has its own receptor. THC, we have cannabinoid receptors in all of our, it's a completely different process. We get Tramacet. So it's got added, I can never say that word right, paracetamol. It's an okay painkiller, but totally useless for a migraine. But I also find Oxy does nothing for a migraine. I have never tried Oxy for a headache. I've never tried anything for a headache other than over-the-counter stuff. But I have heard so many people say Oxys don't work for migraines that I have to believe it. I've heard so many people say that it's just not a good, it makes it, you get some relief, but it's not going to make it go away in any way. It seems to be not a great medication for that, which is odd. Yeah, see, Queen of Awkwardness says the same things. Opioids don't help migraines. Again, I never tried. I have tried pain medication for migraines that was made specifically for migraines that are not that are non-narcotic. They didn't seem to do anything, but my understanding with that is that it's hit or miss. If that one works for you, it's going to work for you, and it's going to work beautiful. But if it doesn't, it does nothing. Florence, did you tell me this once before, hon? Florence, I don't know if you've told me this before, but if not, someone else did. And I actually wrote that down. I have not had a migraine since I saw that, but that is something that I would like to try. Somatropin works for migraines. Wow, I've done somatropin. How odd! I wouldn't have thought that. Beth O'Toole says, OxyContin made my pain worse. I've heard people say that too. Hey, Jeremy Shelton, good to see you, man. Happy you're feeling better, Tommy. We all missed you, kind of like when Jerry missed saying hello. Do you want to know something? I thought about you for hours, Jeremy. I'm not kidding. When I was in the hospital, and I got finally moved to a room that I was in ER for a very, very long time. When I finally got to a room where I could eat and I could drink and live, they had a television set. And they were doing Seinfeld, like a marathon. It was like a 24-hour day thing of Seinfeld. And I was in heaven. I was watching one Seinfeld. It's been a long time since I watched any Seinfeld because you have to pay for it. I don't pay for anything, but the Seinfeld's fun. Wow. Very interesting. Himalayan punk salt, or pink, I assume you said, and bananas keeps migraines at bay for some. Awesome. I am feeling better. I'm going to be really honest. Yeah, I like this. You're too smart for your own good. If the addiction takes back over, it uses all your brain power to figure out how to get more dope. Yeah, can't open that door. Can't even leave it cracked. That's pretty much it. Right? I can't leave it cracked. And I'll tell you what. Let me see if this helps this make sense. Right? I've never hit a woman in my life. I never would. I'm not made that way. But if a woman had heroin and I needed it and she wasn't going to give it to me, I'd probably hit her. The old me, I promise you, if it never came up, but if a woman said, I'm stealing this and I'm not taking it, I would have done whatever I had to do to make sure that didn't happen. I would have treated her like a dude. And there's nothing on this planet that makes me that way except that. So I can't have it in my life. Even in the form of a pill I swallow or anything else, I promise you it's the same thing. I cannot have narcotics. I do not do narcotics. The guy on the side of the hospital make out. Well, I left really quickly, and so I would not be able to tell you. I'm sure he was released that day. All they had to do was, they were getting him stable. He had stomach cancer. He was in the advanced stages of stomach cancer. He was a fairly old guy, but he and his wife were just trying to ride out the rest of his life. He was playing golf, so I mean but somebody ran him over in a golf cart, which is Jilly. This is something I intend to try in the near future. That's something that I have been talking about with some people, and that is something that I intend to try in the future. It was TMC. It was the hospital. Yes. Okay. So here's something. I believe that acupuncture will help with migraines, and it is something that I am going to be looking into. This may sound nuts, but when I was doing my pain management back in the day, and I was getting all of the pain meds from the doctors, they would give me needles to take home for real. Uh, Needles are used for acupuncture, little with a little red thing on the end of it. And she would give me a 6-pack of them. And when I got the headache, I would go into my hand onto a specific spot where the line of my hand goes across, and I would put it in there, and then I would rotate it, and it would knock it out. It would, but I have to, yeah, do check. This is actually really important. This is a thing. I actually got an email about it. This is actually a thing. Reese isn't crazy. Johnny's not crazy. This is a thing, and they're having issues with it. So people are being unsubscribed from channels. It's random. Some channels it happens to, some it doesn't. Happens to some people and not others. But a bunch of people are getting unsubscribed every day. Check and see if you're still subscribed to the Lifeboat. I mean, it is a conspiracy, Calhoun. They're out to get me and another dude who they're shadow banning, but I won't put him on blast. Dentist gave you perks. Wow. Yeah, that's a strong drug for teeth out. But you're still subscribed, good. Because if my boy wasn't, can you imagine the embarrassment? My kid doesn't even subscribe. I want to thank all of you for real for the support, for reaching out. It means so much to me. Dijoxn. How would you say that, Calhoun? I can't hear you. If you were just talking to me, Calhoun, I didn't hear that. But I don't know. I don't know what that is. That's a medication I've never heard of. Wow, how bizarre. My neurologist prescribed propranolol. Propranolol. This is the hardest drug in the world to pronounce. Give that a try. I've been trying for a very long time. I know this drug. I've known of it for probably 15 years, and I can't say the word. I really struggle with this one. It's that LOL at the end that just screws you up. Propranolol. Anyway, Blake, I also take this medication. This is one of the medications that I'm prescribed. So I do take that every day. I've been taking that every day for a really long time. According to the doctor that put me on it, it is one of the few medications that can actually do restoration. There's some proof that not only does it stop damage to the heart, but there may actually be some evidence that it can bring back a damaged heart. To say from 45%, of your heart working to closer to 55, that kind of stuff happens on this drug, according to the doctor that put me on it a very long time ago. Whether or not he's right, I don't know. But he was the nicest doctor I ever met who happened to work for the federal government. He was the only one that I ever met working for the federal government who cared. And he legitimately cared. This was a guy that said, the first time I ever went in to see him, he said to me, do you know how many people get this job because they did something illegal? They got in trouble and had to have this job. He goes, I was getting ready to retire. He said, I was moving to this part of the country, and I thought, I'll give him a good doctor. That was literally what he said. And I thought, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. He said, so I really try to give you guys a solid shake. And he was very good to me. It's derived from the leaves of the digitalis plant. That I'm familiar with. Digoxin helps make the heart beat stronger and with a more regular rhythm. Okay, interesting. What threw me off is the way I saw it spelled. In my head, I was saying digoxin or dizoxin, and that's a rugged ass speed. I mean, that is the dizoxin is just that's the chemical name for methamphetamine. That's really what it is. That's the name brand rather of methamphetamine. Pro plus magnesium has helped slowing tachycardia. Interesting. Propranolol. Thank you. See that? There's always somebody willing to help. Oh, goodness. What did I just do? Wow. I just hit a button and everything went screwy, but I got you back. It's all good. Yes. Ben, it's amazing that you were able to realize this, because not everybody gets this on the first go around. For some, it takes a long time. Yeah, the thought of Corey Feldman being the comeback king helped me. It did. It did. I kind of want to. I would kind of like.
Here comes comeback king.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to get. I told Johnny that. He said, "Are you going to go live today?" I said, "Not unless you come back and start with the comeback king chant. I will not go live if you don't." Pajama Pixie says, "Great name. I'm with Reese. Whatever you do, let's get this fixed. You are far too valuable and needed." What a beautiful thing to say. Well, she is certainly doing everything within her ability to make sure that I try to get treated. And yes, if you missed her live yesterday, it was I don't know. I thought it was as good a response to an email as I've ever seen somebody do. Like I got the notification. She's one of the few channels that when she goes live, I actually get a notification on. And I got the notification, and I tuned in just as she started to do the normal Reese, because it takes Reese 25 minutes to say something, at least to get rolling. Then she's great. But she was doing the hem and the beat around the bush, and I was like, oh no. I just thought this was going in a really bad direction. I thought, what is she getting ready to talk about? But I thought she did a beautiful job on that yesterday. Let me explain something to you guys, and I hate to really be the I hate to be the dude that ruins things, but spoiler alert, right? Go ahead and change the channel right now if you don't want me to ruin this for you, right? Spoiler alert. Give you a couple of seconds, right?
What you gonna spoil?
I'm going to spoil it, Johnny.
What are you gonna spoil?
The the illusion, so to speak.
I'm hanging.
Yes, the ruiner. That is me. I am the ruinator, actually. I am ruinating it. So, yeah, the live with Sterling was hysterical. That was so funny last night. It was really funny. So here's the deal. It's a shtick. Like, you realize that. I love absolutely super, super close friends, and we've hit it off very, very quickly. She's a married woman. We're not, I mean, this is shtick, people. We go on and we flirt, and you guys like it, and that's why we continue to do it, right? There was a lot of, I've never gotten more emails on anything that I've done in my life than I did with the Reese show, especially the one that we did on New Year's Eve. But the you do realize that what I think is funny is when people say, "Oh, I can't believe what you guys are doing." We're doing it in front of a camera, people. If I was trying to seduce somebody, I assure you, I wouldn't do it with 190 countries watching. Reese is a married woman, and she's a happily married woman. I mean, it's a marriage, right? But ups, downs, whatever. But she has a husband and a son, and I'm not trying to do anything to jack that up, people. For real. I mean, if you watch what I do here, I'm about connection, people. I'm not about breaking up families or breaking up anything, right? Something. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun that people buy it. I mean, it is. It's and I care about her. I mean, it's not all shtick. You know what I mean? I care about Reese deeply, but we're not we're not getting a room together or anything. Yeah, it is. But she articulated it beautifully yesterday. I think, well, little Mink, I probably would return the favor. You know what? And I have this, believe it or not, I have this with so many people, right? But yeah, it is what it is, people. It's shtick. It is, and it's a lot of fun. I really, really dig Reese. I do, and it's so much fun to go on and do what we do. And there's also an element of the fact that people believe. Your media profile is doing well when people are shipping you a friend. Yeah, no question, right? Who doesn't have fun being ridiculously flirtatious with friends? It's safe silliness that makes everyone smile. I agree. I will tell you this. I wouldn't do it if the camera wasn't running, right? I wouldn't. I think that's bad form. I wouldn't do that to a married woman if there wasn't an entire world watching. What makes it funny is the fact that there's an entire world watching, right? Um, why do I feel she just may have purchased a plane ticket? You know, she was saying she was threatening to come here to ensure that I actually. Um, her theory is that I will go in and I will go in and come back out and say the doctor said I don't need this procedure, and she doesn't trust that I will be honest. And she said I would like to hear him say that, and I said, great, go ahead and get yourself a plane ticket. Spanx, he's completely on board. He was all over it and said you should go down there and make sure he's all right. Jeff's not worried about me in any way, shape, or form. People, it's not. It really is shtick, and I hate to ruin it, but for the love of God, yeah. Here's the thing. He watches the show. People like he gets this. This is a funny. I mean, what we do is shtick. It's just a little. It's a little disturbing when people get angry. Like I got a couple of emails from people that were just really, really angry at me, and I just sent it back and was like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but there's no Santa Claus either. Like as long as we're doing this, we may as well do it, right? Like it's not real, but there's not a Santa either, you dick. Why did I have to do this, right? Yeah, she did it probably a lot better than I did. You know what I mean? I'm sure she's doing it a lot better than I did. Good Lord. Good Lord. I hope you intend to tell your mother that you took a shower with 628 people, because that's just not right. Laura, good for you. I love it. The problem is we've become a society where everybody is afraid of everything, right? Um, we're a society that's literally terrified. You know, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, I had no problem at all if I met someone saying, you know what? You're a beautiful human being, right? Say that today and watch what happens. Tell someone they're beautiful and watch what happens, right? I'm sorry, Kestrel. I did say spoiler alert. You know what I mean? If you had heeded my warning, I said spoiler alert. I said I am going to ruin this, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at this. She's lying naked, orgies, right? Elizabeth was in the shower. This is getting out of control. This is amazing, is it not? Oh God, Rosemary. Oh, you just scared the crap out of me. You really did. You just scared the crap out of me. The joke part was so small on that. Look how small the joke is. Oh, you got me, Rosemary. That was
I
good.
thought about that while you said it. I swear to God, I did.
You know what though? If I got news for you. If you have a kid watching my channel, shame on you. Right? For real. I've always been real big on that. In fact, I don't know if you guys are content creators, but I restrict my content, right? I restrict all of my content. Now, obviously anybody can get here, but they ask a section, do you want to restrict this from kids? And I hit yes, perpetually. I don't do it on one video. It is done permanently through everyone. I do not want kids watching anything I do because I don't. It's not really a kid show. But that was funny. You got me, Rosemary. You really did. I read all the way to the end of it and just went, oh no. Oh no. That is just awful. Well, you're Germany too, though. I mean, we all know about you guys. I mean, or maybe is that just an American thing that we all know about you guys? You Germans are crazy. We all know that.
We love David Hasselhoff.
And you love David Hasselhoff, right? We all know that.
But who doesn't really?
Who doesn't is a really good question. Hold on one second, baby. Sorry, people, but I do have a entire group Not the Hoff? You don't love the Hoff? Everybody in Germany loves the Hoff. This has been absolutely hold on.
He tore down the wall, says Shelton.
Who said that?
Shelton.
Where is that?
He tore down the wall. God, that sounds good.
That sounds what?
Good. Sounds good.
I'm hydrating. I'm drinking more water than I can possibly drink. That has been one of my when someone tells me I'm pretty, I offer them my glasses. Taking compliments is not my strong suit. So flirting, sorry, can get weird. You know, everybody needs to work on this compliment thing. I mean it. I'm not good at it either, but we all need to work on it, right? Why are we all so bad at taking compliments? Huh? This is an excellent question. Why are we all bad at taking compliments?
I don't know. It's horrible.
But we are we not? That's not me. You're right, Naomi. Both of us need to stay hydrated. See, REM gets it. Wait, why all the Hoff hate? He is an American treasure. Oh, there's no Hoff hate. No, I love David Hasselhoff. And Germans love David Hasselhoff. We know this. Because we are lacking self-esteem to just be happy. Little proud and say thank you. You know, I think here's the thought too, right? We have been for a very long time getting everybody onto this thought that, you know, there's pride is it's looked at really kind of two different ways, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like Shakespeare thought pride was the ultimate sin, right? So every Shakespearean story, the pride is going to be the fall of whoever, you know, that it just is woven through all of it, right? And throughout history, you know, pride comes before the fall, right? Pride has always been a bad thing. And we've always sort of been taught that, you know, you don't want to come off as proud or you don't want to come off as cocky or any of that. A little bit of pride is necessary, right? To be sure, Calhoun. The question becomes, where is that balance, right? Because there are, we all of a sudden a couple of years back, and you know what? I'm going to get texts. You're going too far, but all of a sudden a few years back, we all started to do some screwy stuff, right? With this pride stuff, and we all of a sudden started being proud of things that don't require anything to be proud of. You follow me? I'm not proud for being heterosexual. I'm not proud for being heterosexual. That's just kind of how I am, right? I kind of came out that way. But you can be proud of your sexuality. You can be proud of your gender. You can be proud of, and all of these things are just shut in your face to a point that, I don't know, the word pride has I don't know. To me now, it, and I hate the word, but to me now, the word pride triggers something in my head. I always feel like when I hear the word pride, someone's trying to make a point.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm so tired of people making points. You know, for real. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you pray to. I'd like to just sit down and maybe talk, see if we could all get along. Squirrel was a little bummed out that I wasn't here, right? To be honest, the cat was a little bummed out that I wasn't here. You know something? That's a great comment. This is a great comment. Be proud of accomplishments, not nature. You know, be proud of the things that you've done. Be proud of how you treat others. How about that? Kindness, pride. Have you ever seen a t-shirt that said kindness, pride? Huh? We don't make those shirts. No? Gay pride, straight pride, white pride, black pride. How about kindness? Huh? No, wrestling is real. Don't trip.
Spinal Tap. We all know that's true.
Why would you even say that, though? Spinal Tap. That's messed up. Right? I think that their seminal work on big bottoms. What's that? Smell the Glove probably was their crowning achievement. Although
I love the old stuff.
Yeah, their older stuff, the Stonehenge album was pretty strong.
Amazing.
Yeah, the Stonehenge album was pretty strong, but Smell the Glove was, except for the little hiccup with the artwork.
Flower People, man.
Oh yeah, that they weren't technically Spinal Tap when they did.
It's true.
Listen to what the flower people say. Mhm. Oh yeah, I'm a fan. Listen, it's getting stronger every day. Oh yeah, old Spinal Tap back in the day. Yes, you missed their drummer. Would you be talking about the third drummer? Because the third drummer was kind of level down with personality. He was, I believe, the first one to spontaneously combust during a concert. Squirrel just freaked out because a car drove down our driveway. Someone was leaving the house, and we're not on a road, so cars never go by. So when a car gets to leave, Squirrel, she gets airborne, so she just jumped up. I don't know if you guys saw that, but hold on, maybe we can get a cameo. What do you say, kitty? That is a good looking cat. Any way you shake it. Uh-oh. Hey, settle down. Did you guys hear that? Sorry, people. I have people who are trying to stay sober, and that is part of the deal, to be sure. Yes. So back to this: being proud of accomplishments versus being proud of who you are by birth. I think is probably a good thing, and I'll tell you why I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? There's a big white pride push thing that goes on inside, right? And it's ugly. It's not about being proud of being white. I like my skin, right? It's about hating everybody else, and pride, sadly these days, starts to look more like hate of others than pride in yourself. And I really, this really seems to be a thing, right? It's like this is my sexuality, I'm proud of it, and I'm going to take it to your neighborhood and make a big deal, make it real loud so that you know who I sleep with, right? I want a month to tell you who I sleep with, right? I want this to be a month that we talk about the fact that I sleep with somebody, right? Or some gender or whatever. That's just messed up. I don't like it, and I can't stand it. Reese won't be too jealous. Who is Reese going to be jealous over? Yes, I did see that video. You know what? So back to the Reese thing. I have a tremendous amount of love and respect for Reese. I don't want to have this procedure. I really don't. I'm just keeping it real. I really don't want to have this procedure. And I know that I have an appointment with my cardiologist on Wednesday. And Reese's coming here because she knows if she doesn't, I probably will blow off this appointment. And this is a difficult thing for me, people. It really is. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a little freaked out about it. And she is, you know what? And I appreciate this. I really do. It's hard. So here's the deal. My heart is going to kick into high gear today. It's going to happen. It kicked into high gear yesterday. The amount of time that it spends in high gear is the issue. It is next to impossible to get it back into low gear, as I said. I know, Michael J. I know. Wow. You know what's funny? Not funny, haha, but funny. Joanna Parker, seizures over 400 milligrams. The dose that those guys are getting high on in prison is thousands of milligrams. Like that's how they abuse that drug. They take it in thousands of milligrams. Um, yours was 226 beats a minute for 2 days over New Year's. I was I did all right during New Year's. The highest I've seen mine was 260. Um, well, it's more than that, isn't it? I mean, this is legit. This is legit. It's hard to accept help. Help. That's something that no matter how you shake it, that is a legitimate thing, right? It's hard to accept help, and it's also there's just a lot more that goes into that. Then it's not just about accepting help. I don't like saying I'm afraid of things. I don't. Right. That's something that I I I really dislike saying out loud, and it's and I'm scared crapless of this procedure. I really am. Um, I'm not all that excited about even going in and talking to the doctor. And I am honest if nothing else, right? I've got some issues, but I am honest, and I told her I would probably blow it off. Like she said, if I don't come there, are you going to go to this meeting? I said I might not. You know what I mean? I might not. I don't want to do this. I really don't. And here's the thing: it's like everything I've ever done that I didn't want to do after. I know, like jumping out of airplanes, like anything that I ever did. That's adulting sucks. It's such a great comment. Adulting sucks. Well, I've never been any good at it, um, and I've also never had a friend like this. That's not true. That's not true. But I don't have another friend like this right now. They're all gone, and it's I don't know. It's pretty rowdy to have someone care enough to say, "I want to come and make you do this." That's hard. It really is. And I know I got to go to this damn meeting tomorrow, and I know that I gotta go and get it done. Blake, I read what you wrote and I loved it, man. I so badly wanted to do exactly what you wrote. Blake has reached out to me and he's managed to take care of his without having to do the ablation. My problem is that mine's getting worse, right? I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't. The frequency of it kicking into high gear, right, is happening more often, and the the beats per minutes are getting higher, right? This is getting worse. So there's that. Well, the Rolling Stone, do I look like a guy that didn't get a large amount of Neanderthal DNA for the love of God? I mean, holy hell. If there's anyone that would be half Neanderthal, doesn't seem to keep me healthy, though. I have the lowest blood pressure, Piper. Yeah, if you send me an email, I can read it. I have really low blood pressure. My blood pressure usually is about 112 over 50s, right? 58, 59. I have really, really low blood pressure. My problem is pulse. I can maintain low blood pressure with a ridiculously high pulse. I don't know. Everybody. Well, that brings us about to the top of the hour. I'm Captain Tommy. Right there. That's a cat in a basket. Oh, you know what? Do this here real quick. Renee, I wanted to talk to you about this. I have the same issue as you. I've had an ablation and a pacemaker for my Wolf Parkinson's White syndrome. That one I do not know about. Renee, I will have to look that up. But so you've been there and done that. God bless you. I mean it. Fee, it is always a pleasure to see you. Fiona would probably try to get me to go to that doctor too if she wasn't on the other side of the planet. Fiona's a fantastic friend. Yeah, AFib can freak me out. It doesn't happen often, but it used to happen when I was a runner. I have a friend the operation worked for. I know a lot of people that have had a lot of success with this. I just also happen to know someone that was killed by it, and the guy that did the killing. You know, sending so much love and prayers. Thank you, Lisa. You are absolutely amazing. Lisa's just one of the most supportive people. I swear to God, Lisa, I'm so glad that you found us. I don't. Yeah, again, I wish I knew how that guy panned out. Thank you, Sally. I really appreciate all of you. I do. Thank you so much. You got this, Tommy, and I truly that you knowing your body, yeah, and its actions. I do know I know my body vis-a-vis drug abuse. I might not know all of it, but when it comes to drug abuse and addiction, I pretty much got that down. Holly Moore, thank you so much. The lifeboat has become a part of my daily thank you. And I thank you for the prayers. I believe in that. I really do. I believe in that. I love the friendship between you and Reese. You two have way too much respect for each other to think that there's anything else going on. You know what? I have a tremendous amount of love and respect for Reese. I really do, and it's amazing to have somebody that cares that much. And you know what? And her husband's a stud for saying, go help the guy too. That's yeah, Ben. I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. People, please forgive me. I don't know why I did that. I should be ashamed. Thank you so much, Tina. I love the pound sign. I just love that. British sterling. Jen Nelson, 5 months. Could that be real? Has it been that long? Wow. Can't believe it's that long. Brenda Martin, thank you. I will take the love and the prayers. I really appreciate all of your love and prayers from all of you. It means a lot to me. It really does. I may go live again today. I'm not sure. I have to. All right.
Are you well?
No. All right. Yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Tommy. Bye-bye.